Kwa majina naitwa Alex Langat. I'm the leader of majority katika county hii yetu ya Nakuru. And today I was a bit perturbed by the statements that were issued by our good senator, always known as Keroche, on matters to do with this great assembly. I think we saw it in the press, in the gutter press that was moving on, and the YouTubes by Manoti. And I think Keroche has made very serious allegations concerning us as members of this county assembly. And she had actually started so well by trying to defend her office because of the defamations that have been going on concerning the loss of money in office as a senator of this Nakuru. It is, again, want to thank her a bit for actually accepting that there was a bit of corruption and loss of public funds in our own office, confessed by her but in her own words through the YouTube channel. And she has gone ahead to say that action has been taken by sacking of the 3 people who are actually involved. And that is a bit of a responsibility on her side. But Keroche, in terms of issues that were stolen, she should remember that she bears the responsibility. That is her office. Corruption is there. As she always talks about doing her oversight roles, she should actually do something and start by oversighting her own office, even before she can do the oversights of other offices that are existing in this county or in the other parts of the Republic. Now, what has really touched her so much is her statements on matters to do with that we as MCAs of Nakuru, we are not doing our roles, that we are not even consulting her, that we slept and we have been bought and we have actually been pocketed. I would wish to, actually I feel sorry for her and really wish to let her know that her allegations are very defamatory. We as an assembly of Nakuru have always been doing our roles. We have done our oversight roles as it is actually required. We have, in many cases, summoned the executive in case of things that have not been going right. We have been able to invite the CECs, the chief officers. We have done this severally on matters that touches on the county matters, including her famous pet, the war memorial issues, that we as an assembly have in many times summoned part of the executive to find out on matters to do with the facts. Matters to do with the Molo hospitals, the ongoing projects that has occasionally caused problems, the markets, and the various small issues that the wananchi have actually been able to raise. As an assembly, we have always gone ahead, and these things are available. We have the answers, which are there. We have the letters of invites. We have the requests for statements on matters that have been touching these great counties, including the issues that were there in Naivasha, including the disasters that were there in Naivasha, including the fishing issues that has been affecting the Nakuru, including the famous affluence discharge here in Salga, including matters to do with the employees and the employments of workers within this particular county. So as an assembly, we are actually doing our own role, and we have been very much on top of the games. And what this good senator and office has lacked is lack of information, because she talks out of what she thinks and what she feels, but she has never taken time together with the office to find out on facts, so that when you come and accuse the assembly that they are not doing the oversight roles, she should be able to substantiate and say which parts haven't we been able to do. When you look at what she also perpetrates, that for us, it's like the Assembly of Nakuru does not think, because she says we have been told, that the MCAs have been told to go and say. And, you know, putting us as we are headless. We are people who actually don't reason. This is very unfortunate, and as a leader of this assembly, I would wish to tell Keroche to toe her line. Her oversight role, if she thinks she's doing oversight, she's not really oversighting. I think she's a bit of inciting, and she's actually a bit of a provocative, because when she even goes so personal to talk of how ashamed she is about the MCAs of Nakuru. It's true, it's her own opinion, but I would want to say, I think as a leader, I'm one person also is now very much ashamed about what she has been doing. We have seen her go to various Senate meetings, in many meetings. She's happily portraying in the Manoti TV how she has been able to summon the governor severally to the Senate. But let's ask ourselves, yes, you have summoned, but what were the facts? What were the key things? And what was the end results of those summons that she did? In the end of all the summons that she has done, she has actually appeared to be one person who is not informed about what she is actually doing. She summons and gets the joy, and I think at some point the Senate itself has actually regretted why they are even doing the summons that Keroche has actually been putting, because at the end of the day, it is just total hotel what she calls the governor to go and do there in the Senate. So we have never seen any one tangible report that has been able to bear fruits out of all these summons. So we should just happy that yes, we've been. You have seen me summon, you have seen me do that. But what those summons, out of them, what has it helped the Wananchi? What has it helped to change the direction of leadership within this Nakuru County? And you would find it is just a hotel, and they're just being happy before the cameras that yes, we had summoned the governor because of 1, 2, and 3. A good oversight should bear fruits. At the end of it, when you summon somebody on matters to come and answer, at least you should be able to substantiate facts and fiction, and be able also to bring a change. Because oversight is not about war, it's not about competing. It is not issue that we must always appear to be opposing each other on any basic thing and what happens. The role of an oversight, if we may just be able to tell her, is at least when you discover there is an issue that has been raised by an inch, you call, you come and differentiate between facts and fiction, and you should be able to fix the problems that has caused the problems that has caused the summoning. But on our case, it's just like a competition. It is we keep on competing. That yes, when there are no facts on this one, you go and look for another thing. When there are no facts on the other one, you look for another mistake, so that you appear to be doing. But in reality, you are doing nothing. It's just becoming a busybody, running up and down, and trying to cause frictions everywhere with everybody, and trying to cause war with everybody and everyone. That is not oversight. Oversight should be harmonious. There should be a way, there should be a communication where you can communicate. If you have an issue, communicate to us that yes, we are seeing there is something that is not going right here, or there is something that Wananchi have actually been able to raise, so that you can be able to sit and see, is it true that these facts exist? Is it true that whatever you are complaining has some substance? And then at the end of it all, we should be able to look for a solution, so that we can solve and be able to help the county to be able to move forward. Madam Keroche, in some few things, talking about, maybe us talking about our bursary issue. Indeed, of course, if you look at her statements very well, you know, it's a bit alarming, because even simple mathematics, going by what her own words she has just mentioned, that out of the 727 million that was misappropriated to repair like 200 vehicles. And then she goes ahead to give a quick mathematics that when you divide 727 million by 200 vehicles, you are getting 36 million. I mean, even a standard 8 kid should know that 727 divided by the 200 cannot be 36 million. Yeah? So it comes almost around like 3 million. So even in our own mathematics, when we talk about giving her bursaries, I think she needs to sharpen her bit of simple mathematical skills, even though she wants to really portray or pass a message of maybe what is happening within Nakuru County. So as an assembly, I must say it's unfortunate that the leader, one of our leaders, has been able to pose and pass such defamatory statements concerning the MCAs within Nakuru. For us, we would want to work harmoniously with any office. We work harmoniously with the office of the governor, and there is a liaison team so that when there are issues, we'll always discuss, we summon each other, we call them, we invite them to this assembly to answer questions. The same thing in our office, she is totally lacked liaison. There is no single day, either her in person or either her office consults this assembly for any kind of information. But you would always find her complaining, we are not helping her in any way. How do you even help a person that we have never seen? In fact, the last time some of us saw Keroche is during the times of campaign, but she's always on the media attacking this assembly of Nakuru. So I would want to tell Keroche and her team, kindly, Senator, just keep to your lane. Do your oversight role, let us do our own, and try to be getting information from this assembly. Come and look at the Hansard, come and look at our proceedings, and make time even to come to this assembly. You've had a complaint that she was fearing to come to the assembly because she will be heckled. This assembly of Nakuru is one of its own. It's an assembly that has elites, assembly that has people who are well schooled, assembly who have leaders who have experience. It's not an assembly that is not reasonable. So the issue of heckling is not here or there. It is a constitutional requirement that she should also come and address the assembly. So that all these noises that she is making all over in the medias and all the summonings and all the accusations, for sure, let her come and address it in this great assembly. Yeah, I think we saw the issues of Keroche complaining about the matters of revenue collections earlier. In fact, it was earlier in the year. And she made claims of figures again that were not even tallying, claiming of what we have been able to collect as a county and what has not been able to be collected. Of course, and as an assembly, when you also heard of the outcry, we still even summoned also the relevant departments within the county executive, and we were able to establish facts and fiction on how much revenue the Nakuru county has been collecting. And if you can try to match our figures with what was actually on paper, you would find they are not tallying. And even in the Senate, I think the same also appeared, that what she was complaining about were things that were very, very much not matching in terms of figures. She appeared uninformed. She appeared not to really get the facts. And you saw the colleagues, her own colleagues, even in the Senate, trying to caution her as a senator, and the team that she had actually made for the sake of a political competition. We are aware that somehow, or the rumors has it that Keroche maybe wants to vie for a bigger, for the position of the governorship. It is within her democratic right to vie for any position. But it's not also good to bring disorder and trample over others as you try to climb higher. It may not augur so well. So I think she can go slowly and bring her request before the Wananchi who usually selects, without causing war everywhere, starting war with everybody. It's war with the senators, war with the MCAs, war with the governor, war with the members of parliament. So you would wonder, really, what type of leadership do you really want to bring or incorporate to this greater county? So I think let her just be a bit vigilant and lay her strategies in a more better way than the way she is actually doing it. It is very sad that at the same time, watching at what our senator was talking about, that she personally confessed that whatever monies was lost and the forgeries and all that was done by her own 3 officers. And she accepted, she publicly acknowledged that yes, it was done at the invite of the office. There were CCTV footages and cameras. And then again, she goes ahead to turn and say, it is now the governor of Nakuru who made the 3 of our own officers to do whatever they were doing. I think there is something very slightly wrong in the statement of our senator. Sometimes you would really wonder, now, these are your own officers. They are in your own house. They are in your own home. They decide to do whatever the forgeries, the allegations that have been put, whether they stole the money, I may not tell because of the DCI case, but the fact remains she has even confessed that money was lost. Now, these people, and she even knows that the managers were each paid like 300,000. And then you go ahead to claim it is the office of the governor who has been doing that. It is a bit unfortunate. It is very unprofessional, and it's not even political. That's a bit more personal, and it actually lacks merits by anybody in a normal reasoning mind. How your own workers, when they steal from you, you want to assume that it is another force or the assembly or us as a county who can actually be able to sponsor people to come and steal from your own house. How? These are your employees. You entered a contract with them. You have been working together with them. And once they decide to steal, you want to claim it is somebody else. She should own and take responsibility of our own workers. And the lost money, the public funds that has been lost through that office, she should be the first to be able to return, even as she continues to put her house in order. In the clip, the matters of War Memorial Hospital, it is something that, of course, has been in courts for quite some times. And we all agree and know. And it has been even before the Senate. And the Senate itself made its own conclusion. And of course, you can remember, I can remember Senator Halwale candidly explaining about the matters to do with the War Memorial when they decide to claim that it should continue being a private entity. And she was candidly reminded that even Kenyatta National Hospital used to belong to some individuals those days, but was claimed back and brought back to the government. And many more, even Nakuru PGH, at some point, it would belong to the white settlers and individuals, even when they left. But again, it was claimed and taken back to be a public utility. The same thing, War Memorial is not a peculiar case, because at the expiry of any lease, and we have all seen that the lease actually expired. Nobody does not know. When the lease actually expired, we've seen through the documentation and the allegations of how some individuals went ahead to try and forge some documents so that they can be able to continue enjoying the facility of War Memorial in the individual pockets and individual coffers. So what the county government was doing, and this one we have also done as an assembly, and we have done the due diligence by summoning the relevant departments, the relevant people, and we realized what they were doing is for the good of the people of Nakuru. That we can be able, now that the lease is over, and the lease was not extended the legal way, that this facility can be brought and reverted back to the public for public utility, because for a long time it has been being enjoyed by an individual. And at some point, of course, the government did not come in now. Even at the beginning, the government was there. There was a representation through the PCs, through the DCs. They were there in the management. But at some point, these few people were able to remove the government entities. And now we are only coming back to look at where the wrongs started, so that you can be able to right the wrongs, so that the hospital can be reverted back to the public. So even as she claims, I think the Senate actually gave an answer, and is something that is actually now water under the bridge. She realized that what she was claiming, all those claims, all the emotions that it evoked, was not right. But this hospital should be reverted back to the public, because the land that the hospital occupies belongs to the Republic of Kenya after the end of any expiry of the lease. I think the duties of a county attorney is to actually be able to represent this county government on those very many issues. But of course, as we also know, in law, there are various things that can be taken to court. And occasionally I heard about the issues that we should not be able to maybe engage other firms to be able to represent as in matters to do with the county. But of course, you also realize that in law, there are specialities. There are many there are those who have specialized on land issues, children issues, on murder cases. I want to believe in those professions, there are various kind of a speciality. And you cannot be a monopoly of knowledge in any field. A good professional would always consult other professionals, especially within the same field. So I also want to believe there are various cases that have been presented before the courts, maybe concerning the Nakuru County, and one person, the county attorney, may not be able or may not be competent enough to answer all cases. He may need some other specialities within the law, or those people who have some specialities concerning a specific case that has been brought. So to me, individually as a person, occasionally seeking for help, or for someone who is well conversant in a specific field of a case that has been filed before a court of law is actually the way to go, because you cannot tell me a county attorney would be sufficient to answer all questions. As in the field of medicine, there you can have a specialist, maybe a specialist in dental issues, a specialist in children matters and all that. So even if I become the county doctor today, this guy is a county doctor, when the children are sick, even if I'm maybe a general practitioner, I may need to consult a pediatrician. If somebody came with a teeth problem, even if maybe the county doctor for that purpose, I may have to consult a dentist. So sometimes such kind of consultation is in someone who reasons and thinks well. You may need to do a bit of consultations, even on matters of law.